All right, next couple up are Tom and Claire Warfel. Tom's very involved in table tennis and pickleball here in the village. And for a few years, even though she didn't play, Claire wrote the articles for table tennis in the Globe. Every week, they host a Sunday supper with a group from church after the last service on Sunday afternoons. Claire says they're both very busy and happy to be here in the village.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you, Sheryl.
And I'm not sure if I prepped you before, but I always ask 3 questions. They're tough, so be prepared. Where are you from? First question, where are you from?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, I'm a native Californian. I grew up, born and raised. I was born in Long Beach. We grew up in South Pasadena. I went to school at University of North Dakota.
Oh.
And then came back and I worked in Los Angeles and Orange counties for the rest of my career. The rest of my career I was an RN.
Oh, okay. Tom, where are you from?
I'm from that vacation capital of the world, Richmond, Indiana. I know it's on your bucket list, Sheryl, and we can set you up there. Most people are in line to get out, but I'm always in line to go back in and visit. So I just wanted to say right off the bat, I wanted to get this out of the way. I'm 72 years old and I weigh 173 pounds. I wanted to get that weight and age thing out of the way because I know a lot of the viewers are wondering about those 2 things you never ask people. So
I'm not going to ask you, Claire. Okay, next question. How long have you been a couple?
Since January 1st, 1978.
well, that's when we first met.
Well, that's when we first met, but that's when we first started interacting with each other. And then we started dating in March.
Okay,
I call that our official first date.
March in 78.
Yeah.
We were married on August 18th, 1979 at 2 p.m. at Calvary Chapel, Costa Mesa.
Oh, okay. Perfect. And last question, how long have you been in Laguna Woods Village?
Since 2017.
2016.
16.
Almost to the day.
Okay,
May, June of 2016.
right.
May 2016, yeah.
I'm going to deviate for a minute. What brought you here? Was it table tennis?
No.
Oh,
No, when my husband was getting ready to retire,
I was retired then, I think.
what brought us to the village?
yeah.
When he was getting ready to retire, I was encouraging him to retire. He was very busy in FedEx, and I can see how it was wearing on him. I wanted him to be in a place that when we were rooted, first of all, our family would come to us if we had to be rooted someplace
Right.
that had a lot of activities, and we looked all over this nation,
Right.
and it had a lot of activities, and that he would thrive.
Okay.
And as you can see, he's a horrible wallflower.
Right.
I wanted him to be able to have opportunity. No, I'm kidding. He needs people. And he hadn't played ping pong in a very long time,
Okay.
decades
Oh.
before he got here.
Okay.
He used to be, when we first met, he used to be a tennis pro.
Okay, let's stop there
Uh-huh.
because I want to know how you met.
Oh,
All right, because I deviated. Normally that comes at
Right.
the end, but
Right.
how did you meet?
well, we both share the same faith, and we went to different branches of the same church, Calvary Chapel,
Okay.
and we both decided to go to this 8-week Bible school up in near Lake Arrowhead, California, at the same time, and so that's where we met. And
Were you both working at that point?
Yes,
Okay.
we just took leave of absence from our jobs. He was a tennis pro at Coto de Casa. Do you know where Coto de Casa is? Right over there.
I've heard of it.
Churrico Canyon.
Right, right.
And I
It's
was
on the other side of the tracks.
Right. Oh, it was before it was built up into. Okay, never mind.
Well, it was early in the
right,
in the
early
year.
early in the.
Vic
We were just
Braden-
starting the
Vic
Olympic
Braden
movement
Tennis
there.
College. Yeah.
Right.
And then I was working at Children's Hospital Los Angeles in pediatric intensive care.
Oh, okay.
And I took a break because I wanted to learn more about the Bible.
Right.
And so that's where we met. We met there
Okay.
January 1st, 1978.
At 7 p.m. at night, around 7 o'clock at night.
What was Claire wearing when you met her?
I have no clue.
We didn't hit it off right away.
Oh no.
Yeah, when he looked at me, he thought, oh, she's not very attractive.
He said that to you?
I never
Well,
said
no,
that.
that's what he was
That's
thinking.
her interpretation.
Well, no, you told me that. You told me that.
Don't you love these confrontations? The ratings are off the chart as we say that.
I hadn't slept in 24 hours. I had tonsillitis. My hair was pulled back, hadn't washed it in 3 days. You know, it was one of those.
Right.
But when he looked at me, it was like, wow, yeah, no.
And what did you, when you looked at him?
I looked at him, my first thought was, wow, way back in the 50s, the doctors did a great job on his lip. Because I immediately recognized...
Oh, medically, okay.
Yeah.
I had several surgeries before I was 2.
He was born with a cleft lip, and I immediately recognized he was born with a cleft lip. So we were like, yeah, not love at first sight.
So this was the beginning of the retreat, right? The first day of the
It was a
retreat.
3-month Bible
it was
school.
3 months long.
The retreat was 3 months long?
Yes, it was a Bible school. It was
It was like taking a
3-month-long
class, a
Bible
3 month
school.
sabbatic or class
Oh, it wasn't
you could
like
take.
a weekend deal. It was
No.
Oh, it was 3 months.
3 months.
3
with
months.
about 25 other people.
Oh, so that was the first day, but then
Yeah.
when did you sort of become friendlier?
Well, then we started talking about, because I went to school in North Dakota, I knew about Midwestern sports
Okay,
and basketball.
yes.
And he's from Indiana, you know, Hoosiers basketball.
right.
So we kind of connected in that way with
But
basketball.
you didn't play basketball, you played tennis, right?
Played a lot of basketball.
Oh, you did? Okay.
But
Yeah.
I never, the 2 starting guards on our high school team were both 5'10". They could both dunk, so I knew my days were numbered of playing. But I
You didn't
was,
tell us how tall you are,
well, I was 5'10" then.
Okay.
I'm only about 5'9" now.
but you were 5'10" in high school, okay.
5'10".
Okay.
But we could relate, you know, all the cheers and
Right.
and the enthusiasm, you know, the arenas that are 10,000 people strong in a
Right.
town that has only 8,000 people, you know, that
Right,
kind of thing.
right.
So we got along really well that way. And then we ended up, you know, doing some things together, projects-wise, with our church
Right.
up there that drove us even closer together. We just bonded,
Right.
and then we kind of liked each other. And
Was the retreat through Calvary?
Calvary Chapel Coast.
That's
So
it.
the retreat was the retreat was through Calvary Chapel.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So toward the end, toward the middle, you started to.
Yeah.
Well, this one weekend, we were the only 2 left. We did a lot of cleanup for the weekends and different retreats I would come visit.
Oh.
And we were asked, they needed a guy and a gal to watch someone who was just visiting, and they wanted us to watch her. And she was coming from a very different, let's say she was into a cultish
Coming out of
situation.
an abusive
okay.
environment.
Very abusive. And so we were assigned, could you and Claire take her under your wing the rest of the semester,
Oh. Okay.
every day, to do ice skating, movies,
okay.
be a
No,
friend.
the weekend.
Well, it started on the weekend. And so we would introduce her just to kind of normal things,
Right.
fun things, be a friend to her.
Right.
And then we spent a lot of time just being friends and hanging out and getting cinnamon rolls down at the Blue Jay grocery store. They had great cinnamon rolls.
Oh, cinnamon rolls.
Had to get one at least every day.
And so by the end, you were
We just spent a lot of time together.
right. Okay.
Got
So
to know each other.
at this point, where were you located?
I was still
in Coto
pretty much
Casa.
home base at Coto
Okay,
at Big
you were in
Braden Tennis
LA.
College.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was very involved with Disney in helping bring the Olympics to Los Angeles in '84.
Okay. And so the retreat was over
And I moved to Children's Hospital of Orange County at that
because
time.
of Tom or oh.
Then we started dating
Okay.
after that.
Okay.
The funniest thing you probably would enjoy is that right at the end of Bible school, we were thinking about dating, but I wasn't sure. And so I had one evening where I was babysitting for one of the teachers, and it was his cabin, and it was quiet, and you know, just got the baby to bed, and I thought, finally I have time to myself, and it was quiet, and it was snowing outside, and there was a knock on the cabin door, and I opened the cabin door, and Tom is standing there in this ridiculously red snow jacket,
I was cold.
and he says, "Singing telegram." let me call you sweetheart, I'm in love with
Oh, how sweet.
you. And the baby started crying. And I looked at him and said, you cannot be here. And I closed the door in his face.
I got over it. It's all good.
At that point, were you a couple?
Well, the next morning I said, listen, maybe it's not a good idea for us to think about this till we're finished with Bible school. So why don't we talk about it after we're back at our jobs and. And he said, fine.
6 hours later, I was told to call her to ask her to the talent show
His
that
friend,
night,
yeah.
who was one of the pastors there. And I said, Mike, she has told me that, just wants to be friends. And I said, that's fine. He goes, Warf, call her. Here's the phone. Do it now. This is your time. I go, okay, I'll do it. Why don't you dial it? So he dialed it, and I called Claire, and I said, would you like me to pick you up for the talent show tonight? She goes, I'd love to. I'd like to come.
No, I was just feeling miserable after I told him that.
Oh.
And he said, you want to go to the farewell banquet with me? I said, okay. And then we started dating.
All right, so you're out of the retreat, and then what was the first date you went on?
Oh boy, that's a good one. My parents came to California. We go ahead, honey.
Well, his parents came to, our first official date, because I went to meet his parents, but then we went to Catalina
Oh.
with his mom.
Oh.
I was cool. I was on the third floor trying to, look at the, different dolphins or whatever happens. I got deathly ill.
And then he got sick all over the
I was
deck.
sick all over the back of the boat. It was not the greatest first date. My mother, her future mother-in-law's on board. She's having the time of her life. She just can't wait to get on the glass-bottom boats. I'm throwing up with the drunks in the back. And Claire is sitting there, oh, this is a lovely time. And that's our first date.
And then you came, but you came, it was just for a day. It was a day trip, right?
It was all day.
Yeah.
Okay, so then
$5 to Catalina back then.
round trip?
I think it was round trip.
I don't know. I didn't know. I was on a date.
You were on a date.
He paid
Yeah.
for it.
All right. 2-minute warning, I just came in, but I need to know, what about the second date? Was that any better?
Second date?
How soon did Tom call you
I
after the
think
first
we probably went someplace like
Oh, we hung out the
Love's-
rest of the week with my parents.
date? Okay.
We probably went someplace like Love's Barbecue because
Okay.
they had a great Friday chicken dinner. It was great. So we probably went someplace like that. So
At that time, it was all about mother and dad because they were here visiting.
Right.
And,
but our
trying,
first date all by ourselves, I think was something like Love's.
probably Love's.
Love's Barbecue in Orange.
When you're in Love's, the life is delicious, or whatever that commercial was back in the 70s. You remember Love's? Yeah.
So real quick, you have 2 kids?
One.
One son.
One son, yeah.
Does he
One
play
son and one
tennis?
daughter now.
Oh, he's married.
No,
He's not.
we don't have a daughter. She is someone who's adopted our family.
Nice.
It's close as a daughter, but our son does not play tennis.
Oh, he does not play
He's
tennis.
a firefighter in El Centro.
Oh,
but
okay.
He plays pickleball, though.
Plays, oh, okay.
He
Well,
does play pickleball, yeah.
that's perfect. Wonder, and I think I've met your son. I think he was at that tournament where you watched.
He could have.
Yes.
He tries to come.
Right, right.
Where he's stationed right now, he's a firefighter. So, out in the Imperial Valley, it's triple digits from now until September.
How does
So
he?
come to Orange County is like coming to air conditioning
How does
every
he
day.
stay cool in his firefighter?
The grace of God. And a lot of prayers from his,
Right.
I'll send some
Parents.
prayers too because
Right.
I don't
every day his life is on the, they're
Yes.
right on the border.
Yes, yes, yes. And as you know, the pickleball club just raised $4,000 for the Benevolent Association.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have them in our hearts. Anyway,
So
thanks
neat.
so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Great story.
Thank you.
Well, Sheryl, thanks for coming in. Thank you so much for having us. It's such
Thank
an
you.
honor and a privilege to be in a community that we know we really enjoy, and we can't wait to have a lot of great memories here. So thank you.
You have this, you'll have this forever.
Oh my gosh, that's a scary thought. We hope the ratings will come up, not lower, but hopefully not get them lower, but bring them up to snuff. So
Absolutely.
thank you so much.
If you'd like to come on to the show, email us at lwvcouples at @gmail.com. Include your name, phone number, and email address, and brief description of your story.